Germany is at a critical crossroads. It is facing an acute energy crisis and economic downturn, which have fueled a surge in support for far-right political parties, advocating an exit from the European Union and abandoning the euro. This confluence of challenges threatens Germany's future and the stability of the entire European project. The roots of crisis. Germany's economic strength has long rested on an export-driven model bolstered by reforms in the early 2000s known as Agenda 2010. While these reforms boosted employment and competitiveness, they also led to wage stagnation and increased income inequality. The nation's success came with vulnerabilities, particularly its dependence on stable, inexpensive energy sources supplied mainly by Russian gas. The situation dramatically changed following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The termination of Ukraine's gas transit agreement with Russia, sanctions, and retaliatory measures severely constrained pipeline flows to Europe, especially hitting Germany. Energy prices soared, forcing industries to scale back production or relocate. Small and medium-sized businesses struggled to remain competitive, while households grappled with higher utility bills. Economic downturn and political upheaval. By 2024, the strain on Germany's economy was evident. Rising unemployment, hesitant consumer confidence, and mounting anxiety over future prospects led to growing frustration among voters. The governing coalition under Chancellor Scholz appeared to lack both a coherent energy strategy and a credible plan to address broader economic woes. In this climate of uncertainty, far-right parties, particularly the Alternative for Germany, found fertile ground for their messages. The AfD's platform, calling for leaving the EU, reinstating a national currency, and pursuing renewed relations with Russia, began to resonate with segments of the electorate feeling alienated from mainstream politics. The collapse of the coalition. As tensions grew, Chancellor Scholz's coalition began to buckle under the strain of differing policy priorities. Disagreements over handling the energy crisis, immigration policies, and managing social welfare costs led to gridlock and increasing public dissatisfaction. In 2025, the coalition finally collapsed, triggering snap elections that brought the far right closer to power. Structural weaknesses exacerbate Germany's crisis, including a shrinking workforce and an aging population. The nation has relied on skilled migrants to fill labor shortages in key industries. However, far-right platforms emphasizing strict immigration limits counter this economic necessity. Energy transition challenges. Despite efforts to transition to renewable energy through the Energiewende initiative, Germany still heavily depends on fossil fuels and nuclear power. The far-right's critique of wind power expansion and advocacy for rekindling relations with Russia could deviate from Europe's broader environmental and security objectives. Germany's potential departure from European integration would have severe repercussions for the entire EU. As the world's fourth largest economy and de facto leader of the European project, Germany's departure from the euro and possibly the EU itself would be far more impactful than Brexit. A German exit could lead to immediate and dramatic fluctuations in the euro's value, capital flight, increased borrowing costs for other member states, political realignments as countries question their commitments to the bloc. The EU was founded on the principle that deeper economic and political integration would help preserve peace. Germany has been at the heart of this vision, shaping EU policies on trade, security, and more. If Germany turns inward, the EU's capacity to address global challenges could be severely weakened. External powers such as Russia or China might see an opportunity to deepen their foothold in Europe, forging bilateral deals with individual states rather than dealing with a unified bloc. Societal tensions are mounting in Germany. Repeated GDP contractions have boosted unemployment and strained the social welfare system. Public trust in political institutions is eroding as businesses declare insolvency or shift operations abroad. The far right's promise of simplicity, breaking free from perceived entanglements and taking control of national policies, has become a potent narrative. However, critics argue that this stance overlooks the enormous logistical and economic disruptions that would follow any euro exit. Germany's potential secession from the euro would have significant repercussions for the European Central Bank, ECB. As the ECB's largest shareholder, Germany's departure could impact the bank's balance sheet and its ability to manage crises in other parts of the eurozone. Germany's neighbors watch nervously as events unfold. France, often working with Germany to guide EU policy, finds itself precarious. Other nations fear that Germany's departure would undermine structural funds, investment guarantees, and export markets they depend on. The United States is increasingly concerned about these developments, as a cohesive European Union has long been a cornerstone of transatlantic relations. Russia and China, on the other hand, might see opportunities to increase their influence in Europe. Germany's social cohesion is in danger as rising unemployment and wage pressures worsen tensions between different socioeconomic groups. The debate over immigration ignites fervent discussions, with the far right insisting that immigration depresses wages and strains public services, while others point to the critical role of skilled migrants in key sectors. The United States is increasingly concerned about these developments, as a cohesive European Union has long been a cornerstone of transatlantic relations. Russia and China, on the other hand, might see opportunities to increase their influence in Europe. Germany's social cohesion is in danger as rising unemployment and wage pressures worsen tensions between different socioeconomic groups. The debate over immigration ignites fervent discussions, with the far right insisting that immigration depresses wages and strains public services, while others point to the critical role of skilled migrants in key sectors. The United States is increasingly concerned about these developments, as a cohesive European Union has long been a cornerstone of transatlantic relations. Russia and China, on the other hand, might see opportunities to increase their influence in Europe. Germany's social cohesion is in danger as rising unemployment and wage pressures worsen tensions between different socioeconomic groups. The debate over immigration ignites fervent discussions, with the far right insisting that immigration depresses wages and strains public services, while others point to the critical role of skilled migrants in key sectors. The coming years will be critical for determining Germany's trajectory and the future of the European Union. The decisions made by voters, political leaders, and industry stakeholders will either reinforce the EU's unity or accelerate the unraveling of a cooperative framework that has defined post-war Europe. As economic hardship and political strife challenge the foundations of unity, leaders and citizens alike must decide whether to rebuild in a spirit of collective progress or yield to voices calling for separation and isolation. Germany's choice could either bolster the European project or unravel decades of painstaking integration. This moment serves as a wake-up call, reminding us that prosperity and peace are neither automatic nor guaranteed. They are the result of collective effort, thoughtful policy-making, and a shared vision that transcends borders. The challenges Germany faces, energy security, economic inequality, technological competitiveness, social cohesion, are echoed in many parts of the world. How Germany navigates this moment of truth will offer lessons for any society grappling with the allure of populism and the complexities of global interdependence. Now is the time for all voices to be heard. Reasoned debate and collaborative problem-solving are essential. The concerns driving voters toward the far right must be addressed in concrete, compassionate, and inclusive ways. At the same time, the benefits of cooperative frameworks like the EU need to be communicated more effectively. This story is still unfolding, and the path is not set in stone. Germany may pull back from the brink, invigorating its own economic renewal and the EU's collective resilience. Alternatively, it may choose a path that shakes the very foundations of European integration. The necessity of informed engagement cannot be overstated as we consider the future. Open dialogue, drawing perspectives from economists, business leaders, policy experts, activists, and everyday citizens, is key to navigating a stable, unified, and progressive future. The decisions made now will echo for generations. By fostering a shared understanding, we can push beyond discord and help forge a path that preserves economic vitality and democratic values. While the current landscape may feel daunting, crises often catalyze innovation and deeper cooperation. With engaged citizens, courageous leadership, and thoughtful discourse, Germany and the European Union can still emerge stronger. This would remind the world that unity, even in the face of adversity, remains among humanity's most powerful tools for securing a peaceful and prosperous future for all. Leave a comment and keep the conversation going. Your insights, questions, and experiences matter.